Hi everyone, and welcome to the Alec the Science Kid show. Today, I have a super awesome guest with me. Her name is Dr. Pamela Gay, and she is an astronomer, writer, and she hosts a podcast focused on using new media to engage people in science and technology. Her most well-known project is Astronomy Cast, a podcast which she co-hosts with Fraser Kane, the producer of Universe Today. Each week, they take their listeners on a facts-based journey through the cosmos that explores not only what they know about the universe, but how they know it. They are now entering their 4th year of production, and thanks to the constant new discoveries coming out of the space science communities, they have no plans to stop recording anytime soon. So thank you, Dr. Pamela Gay, for coming on the show today.
Hi, Alec. Thanks so much for having me on.
It's a pleasure. The first thing I want to talk about is the Mars rover, Curiosity, that's just successfully landed on Mars. Can you tell my listeners a little about Curiosity and what its mission is on Mars?
So Curiosity is a 2,000-pound spacecraft, a little rover with 6 wheels that's going to be able to explore inside of Gale Crater. This is the largest object we've ever landed on a world outside of Earth's general gravity well. So we've taken large things to the moon. They had human beings in them. But we've never taken something this big to another planet. Now, what's so awesome about Mars Science Laboratory, or Curiosity, is it has a bunch of different chemical experiments on it that allows it to not just look for water on Mars, and you need water to have life as we know it here on Earth, but it also has the ability to look for different carbon-based molecules, things called organics, to try and figure out if all of the things that we need for the type of life that we understand possibly could exist or have existed in the past on the Martian surface.
Speaking of the technology, they're saying that there's technology on Curiosity that's unprecedented. Do you know what some of the technology might be?
Well, it's a lot of the technology that it has is stuff that we use here on Earth already. Although the way they landed it was truly awesome and amazing, and we couldn't do here on Earth. The problem that they ran into trying to land such a heavy vehicle was Mars doesn't have that thick of an atmosphere. So here on Earth, when we're trying to land a capsule coming from space, we just use parachutes. And our nice thick atmosphere slows the spacecraft with its parachutes down to a velocity that when astronauts and equipment hit water, hit land, they're going slow enough that nothing gets hurt. Well, on Mars, the atmosphere is just not thick enough to do that. So they had to figure out a way to land a heavyweight vehicle and land it safely. So they used a combination of first parachutes to get the first large chunk of velocity off, but then they fired 8 different rockets that were steerable, that allowed the spacecraft to slow down, maneuver, and very carefully land exactly where they wanted to land. Now, the next problem that they had to deal with was there's a lot of dust on Mars. So in order to land without covering the spacecraft in dust, they couldn't go all the way down to the surface using those rockets. That's actually a technology we've used here on Earth. Different space companies, such as X-Corps, actually have experimental rockets that take off like a rocket, but then land backwards, just like the rockets that were in Men in Black. Now, here, they couldn't land all the way down the surface of Mars using just the rockets, because the rockets stir up too much dust. So they actually had to lower Curiosity on ropes from this rocket pack and then cut the ropes and fly the rocket pack away so they wouldn't bury the spacecraft in dust. And that's something that's never been done before. And the fact that we did something that's never been done before on another planet 14 light minutes away was more than a little bit amazing.
That's really cool. If you were able to fly on Mars and stay there for a week, what would you do first?
I think that I'd probably want to explore some of the old dry riverbeds. One of the things that's really awesome about Mars is we know that roughly 3 billion years ago there was actually water on Mars. And so just like here on Earth we have amazing canyons that have been cut out by flowing rivers, Mars also has a bunch of neat canyons that were cut out by rivers. And within the cutout cutouts of these rivers, you see all the normal stuff you see here on Earth in terms of different layers of what's called sedimentation, different layers of rocks that have been deposited over millions of years. But the thing is, the types of minerals that you find in the riverbeds aren't the same types of minerals that you find where similar cutouts are in places that were created by asteroids hitting Mars and making big craters. And I just love to see what are the minerals available to be found down in those riverbeds.
Since there has been water on Mars, do you think there has been life on Mars?
Well, that's the big question. No one knows how hard it is to create life. Right now, we only know of one place that has life, and that's here on Earth. But every single place we look on Earth that has water, we also find life. Now, if we're able to find life on Mars, that means that it's really easy for life to form. And we probably live in a universe that's just chock full of life everywhere. But we don't know if it's that easy or not. I'm hoping it's that easy. So right now, scientifically, I don't know which way to go. I don't know if I should say it's easy, of course we're going to find it, or it's hard. Life is probably not unique, but rare. So I don't know what to say on this one, and my skeptical scientific brain is going, I hope we find life, but I'm not going to bet on it.
So finding life on Mars would be just like the big answer, but
how common life is, I think, is more of what it's the big answer to. If we find that life formed both on Earth and on Mars separately, that's going to tell us that it's easy for life to form everywhere.
that would be cool if there was life everywhere.
It really would be. It's also a little bit terrifying because, well, as Stephen Hawking has pointed out, we don't know if other life has the best of intentions.